So this past weekend, I had the pleasure of hosting a convention in Texas called Kamehacon 2, and now we're back. I'm back home, and it's time to get back to work. And boy, what a crazy last few days it's been. But I want to talk about on this video, and this will be the first of many videos discussing not just this, but other things going on in geek culture, because we got to talk about those Endgame leaks. I'll do a separate video on that. I want to talk about Star Wars Episode 9. The first trailer dropped Friday morning at Star Wars Celebration Chicago. I was at Kamehacon, but I watched it in the hotel, and boy, were there a lot of surprises. J.J. Abrams, of course, returns to direct and write the film, along with, I think it was John Terrio, I think it is. He also helped write it. And the movie's name was revealed to be The Rise of Skywalker. Now, that was a very interesting name for this film, because one thing we know about the movie going in is that this is supposed to be the final chapter of the Skywalker saga. Like, the Skywalker lineage ends in this film. It's over. Whether that means that Kylo Ren is going to die, or whether that means that he's going to turn good and just retire, or whatever the case is going to be, this is supposed to be the last of the Skywalker saga. Then why is it called The Rise of Skywalker? Now, obviously, with, like, for example, the Chris Nolan trilogy, Batman trilogy, The Dark Knight Rises. So there's nothing wrong with something rising in its final chapter. Problem is that Luke Skywalker is dead. Anakin Skywalker is dead. The only Skywalker left is Kylo. So are they talking about Kylo rising to become the ruler of the galaxy of the First Order? Well, he already did. He killed Snoke in the previous film. He is the Emperor now. He is the supreme leader of the First Order. So what does this Rise of Skywalker mean? Well, there's so many theories that are going around already. And boy, are we going to have a lot of theories for the next, 9 months before the movie comes out. So what are my thoughts on the trailer? So first and foremost, the movie looks great. Aesthetically, it looks amazing. I mean, you can't deny the production value of the film. They're back on Tatooine in the opening shots. Well, no, it could be Jakku, but I'm pretty sure it's Tatooine. And they have this really awesome scene of Rey doing basically the spinning backflip, very similar to the one that Anakin tried to do. He tried to do on Obi-Wan and got chopped up. And she jumped over a TIE fighter, or one of the new TIEs. Damn, it looked cool. And it was cool because, there's theories already that, and there have been theories that she is the reincarnation. She is the reincarnation of Anakin Skywalker. So if the Rise of Skywalker represents her being reincarnated, and it just so happens that her parents were junk traders, but she's still like a reincarnation, that would be interesting. I don't think they're going to do that in the film, but that's one of the popular theories going around, and that could be a clue that she did the same move as him. Then we have shots of like Lando. We have shots of Finn, Poe, and Rey. There's a shot of Rey hugging Leia that was taken from Episode 7, but they're gonna, of course, modify it and CGI it up for this movie. It's but it's the real actress they shot, 4 years ago or whatever the case, maybe 5 years ago. And that's in the trailer. We see Kylo Ren chopping up some dude, which I think looked great. Luke Skywalker does a voiceover saying over 1,000 generations are in you. So right now, Right now, Rey is the last Jedi, and that was established at the end of Last Jedi when Luke tells Kylo, I will not be the last Jedi. Wasn't him, it was Rey. Luke was the last Jedi. He has passed it down to Rey. And we know the movie's going to have a MacGuffin, and we know the movie's going to have, the two sides, the Resistance and the First Order, trying to find something. Now, the trailer may have revealed what that is. At the very end of the trailer, we see Rey, Finn, and Poe going to what looks to be some kind of beach, right? And they're looking off into the distance. There's a giant structure there. Now, when I first saw the trailer, I couldn't tell what it was. I didn't know if it was like a temple, a Sith or a Jedi temple, some kind of fortress. But upon further inspection and talking to other people, it does indeed look like remnants of the Death Star. And of course, we're not sure if they're talking about the original Death Star or the Death Star 2 from Return of the Jedi. But when it fades to black, you very clearly hear Ian McDiarmid, the voice of Emperor Palpatine, cackling. And then it says Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker. Now, this is not a bait and switch. Well, it could be a bait and switch. It could be, but I want to address that here in a minute. It's not a bait and switch because Ian McDiarmid was there at Celebration, and he said in the Palpatine voice, "Play it again." So this is a very real thing. Palpatine is going to be in this film. Now, I've already seen people talk about, oh, well, what if it's not really Palpatine? It could be a clone, because in the old EU books, the Dark Empire story, there were clones of Palpatine created. So maybe Palpatine did create like secret clones of himself before he died. That's certainly a possibility. For all we know, maybe it was the clone that died in Return of the Jedi, which again, I'm not sure if I'm going to like that or not, but that could be a possibility. Or it could be that, and some people have said, well, what if it's like a Force ghost? Well, George Lucas himself said that Force ghosts can only be achieved through the light. Dark side users, Sith, or whatever you want to say, they don't become one with the Force. That's not a dark side, I guess, gift or ability or whatever. So it probably won't be that unless they change the lore. But, with that said, one thing that I will tell you that I have concerns with after watching the trailer is that I feel like this movie might end up being overly fan servicey. Now, obviously, after the mess that was The Last Jedi, and after the mess that the Star Wars, fandom had been fighting each other and going to war and whatnot, you would think that, Last Jedi, which was pretty much in many ways a hate letter to the Star Wars fans. And I know some people don't see it that way, but that's how I saw it, every time I see it. It's like they're making fun of you for being a Star Wars fan. This movie might try to do the opposite, but the problem is if they go too extreme to the other side, I feel like it could end up turning people off, because if it's just going to be fan service on top of fan service, like, yeah, that could be fun, and I have no problem with good fan service, but of course, good is subjective. That being said, J.J. Abrams, obviously with Episode 7, tried to be reactionary. And that's the thing about this trilogy, about Star Wars through Disney, is that Disney Star Wars is very reactionary. They do things based on the previous incarnation of Star Wars to please the fans. When Episode 7 came out, Force Awakens, the reason why JJ went back to having it look like the original movies, the original trilogies, because people didn't like the prequels. Then with Episode 8, it was almost like Rian Johnson was trying to just diverge direction completely and do something new. And one of the complaints about Force Awakens was that it was too much like the first movie, the original A New Hope. With Last Jedi, on the other hand, it went in new directions, but it really wasn't. I think people magnetized that. The new directions weren't really they really weren't new directions, man. The only difference is that Kylo ascended to the top that where Vader didn't. So that is one major difference. And I've said in the past that even though I don't like Last Jedi, the Kylo Ren character arc in that film I think is fantastic. It's the best thing about that movie. Then we go into Episode 9 where it looks like JJ has to come back once again and try to fix the mess that Rian Johnson left behind. Try to fix the problem that they left behind. So I just feel like bringing back Palpatine, like, look, I love Palpatine, dude. Palpatine is a great villain. The best thing about Revenge of the Sith is Palpatine, without question. And I like Palpatine. I really, really do. But it's one of those things where I don't know if I agree with this, because it feels like they're just trying to pander at this point, and say, oh, well, we screwed you with Episode 8, and Luke, let's give you Palpatine. And we're going to give Rey, like, the powers that we thought that Luke was going to be able to pull off. So, and we didn't get that. But what with Episode 9, them bringing back Palpatine, I'm just thinking, what else are they going to do? Like the Death Star and Palpatine. And are we going to see droids? There's rumors about that. Are we going to see Mandalorians? I mean, I think we could see it with that new series coming out. Are we going to see things from the old movies, Boba Fett? I mean, I don't think they're going to be able to fit it in, but my big concern for the film, like I've said before, is with the way Last Jedi left things off, they're going to have to cram a lot of story into this movie. And I'm wondering if Episode 9 is going to end up being like Endgame, where it's going to be a 3-hour movie. I think Disney nowadays, depending on how Endgame does, will be more bold to do big 3-hour films if it works. And of course, Endgame's going to make a lot of freaking money. And I do think Episode 9 will as well. But I'm wondering if they'll be able to fit this much of a story in, because they gotta resolve a lot of issues with Episode 9. They've got to somehow fix the galaxy, finish off the Kylo Ren arc, finish off the Rey arc, and of course the whole Palpatine thing. There's a lot of stuff that's being discussed. And at the end of the day, I'll do more videos covering this, but at the end of the day, the trailer I felt was I was happy to see it because even though I hated Last Jedi and I don't have as much excitement for Star Wars as I did 2 or 3 years ago because of what has happened with the series. As much as I didn't like that, I am happy to see these characters. I love being in that universe. No matter what, if you hate Rogue One, Solo, I find flaws in all of them. I love being in the Star Wars universe. It's such an important part of my childhood that no matter what, when a Star Wars movie comes out, I want to go see it. And I know a lot of you agree. I know you do. And we're going to, even if we heard it sucks, you know what I mean? Even if we heard it sucks, we still are going to go see it because we love this universe. And the new characters in 7, 8, and 9 are just not over. And what I mean by over is it's Carney term for popular. They're just nowhere near as iconic as the ones from the original trilogy or even the prequels. I don't think that people love Rey and Kylo as much. Well, Kylo's awesome, but I don't think they love Rey and Finn and Poe as much as they love Luke, Han, and Leia. Maybe in 40 years, but I don't think so. I think the characters have been mismanaged. But that's a video for another day. So overall, my thoughts are Episode 9 trailer, little bit concerned, kind of curious though. It definitely piqued my interest for sure, and it made me think like, where is this going? And I'm gonna go see it anyways, but my excitement's definitely not where it was before, and this movie could end up being a big dumpster fire. We'll see. J.J. Abrams, he's very hit or miss. Star Trek was great, but Into Darkness was trash. Mission Impossible 3 was good. So he's got good movies. He's got some bad movies. Can he really save this franchise and at least balance things? Can he balance the force? We'll find out in December, and I'm sure we'll get another trailer either in the summer or right around October like last time, and we'll see more. But we'll talk about a lot of this in the coming weeks and months. What did you think? Let me know in the comments. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.